Okay, recently, European Wait Awake has come out. And I want to know if the wait has been very difficult from the recording to the release.
Para ser sinceros, hemos tenido mucha suerte porque nuestra idea inicial era, justo cuando acabáramos de grabar, pues poder hacer una gira de conciertos.
So we just pretty much just told everyone involved, like, there's no rush, like, let's just make it, you know, like, as pristine as we want it to be. And by the time it was finished, it was kind of just like perfect timing that we'd release it very shortly after it was finished and then hit the road. So we got lucky in that sense, as far as timing goes.
Okay, but in what date do you release? Previous the COVID-19 pandemic or after the...
We released on October 1st, so like recently, like,
okay,
things aren't much different now than they were when we first released it.
Okay, I understand you when you told that it's a lucky, you are a lucky man now, because I know a lot of bands that recording previous the 19 COVID and wait a long time to release the records. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. Well, another band I play in too, we released our EP in May. We're called Stepping Stone. We're like a hardcore band. We released our EP in May, and then not being able to play shows or anything right when we released it, like, really deflated us. So I knew that with Flashback, I was like, okay, we can't do that again. If we want to like tour with this, we gotta make sure we have like a nice big release layout all realized.
Okay. Personally, I think that your song "Cracking in the Mirror," maybe if it will be released in another time, for example, in 1999, it was a hit. Do you think that your music in another period of time, maybe it will be more successful?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's kind of the plan with Flashback. We're trying to emulate, you know, the sound of the late 90s and early 2000s that we all grew up on and are so passionate about still. So honestly, hearing you say that, you know, that we would go toe to toe with a big band from the 90s or 2000s, that hits the nail on the head, and I'm very happy to hear that.
Okay, but what do you think that new metal in this time can bring to the music in nowadays?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a huge untapped new metal market out there that I think not a lot of people are aware of. When we first released our previous release, North American New Metal, we posted it. We found these Facebook pages, like, they're like New Metal Forever and like New Metal fans. And we posted it on there, and there's like hundreds of thousands of fans on there, and they were all very receptive to the release. So I think new metal is still very much alive.
what do you think that new metal was successful in the past? Why? What is the elements that make this successful?
I think at the time, you know, in the 90s and 2000s, I think like hip hop and pop music were really starting to take over the mainstream. You know, like we're all familiar with the pop artists of like the early 2000s. And I think people kind of just wanted a break from it. And, you know, people that didn't like pop music, whether they just minorly disliked it or vehemently hated it, they wanted something that was a lot more aggressive and a lot more edgy. And I think when, like, you know, bands like Korn and Linkin Park came out with just a more aggressive but still palatable sound, I think it was just kind of like perfect timing. And I think the stars just aligned that like the time is now for something like this.
Yeah, but do you think that the same people that like pop in this time like Linkin Park? Is this the same
Oh,
people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Linkin Park in 2002 versus Linkin Park in 2021 are an entirely different band. So I think, yeah, they've definitely, you know, made their way into the mainstream pop world. But when they first started, I would say definitely not.
Okay. In your songs, I see a lot of influence about Incubus band. Do you agree?
Honestly, I have never gotten too far into Incubus. I've heard like the hit singles and stuff on the radio, but I've never done a deep dive. I'm going to definitely listen now though, because
amazing.
I don't know.
And which is your main references or your main influences?
A lot of Deftones. I know everyone in the band really likes Deftones, especially the guitarists doing the songwriting.
The songs of the first albums or
yeah, like the first few albums, like White Pony and stuff.
Okay, Adrenaline, Around the Four, no? Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Again, Linkin Park for sure. In some of the heavier songs, I think there's a little bit of Slipknot influence. And our next release there's definitely a lot more aggressive Slipknot sounds. So just kind of like those big new metal bands of the early 2000s, a lot of influences drawn from there. And then there's also a blend of, you know, kind of like newer shoegaze kind of stuff.
Shoegaze, yeah?
Yeah, like there's a lot of like ambient, like large choruses and bridges that I think are very reminiscent of bands like My Bloody Valentine.
My Bloody Valentine. A few weeks it was the anniversary of the album, I guess, of the Bloody Valentine. It's a band who had an impact in the musicians, no?
Yeah, definitely. I think even if not directly, I think My Bloody Valentine had a lot of influence on, you know, newer bands that we take influence from. Okay.
In your post of social networks, I read it a lot of posts with purple color. Is your favorite color, I guess. What do you want to convey with that color?
Yeah, besides purple being my favorite color and the color of my favorite football team, the Baltimore Ravens. I think we just wanted
in which sport, baseball or basketball?
That's football.
Football,
American football, yeah.
American football, okay.
But we just wanted like a cohesive color scheme throughout this current release, on the album art, in the music video, and in our photos. And we just decided on purple and green. For whatever reason, I think we just thought that it matched the vibe.
Only because you like it, this color. There is no message in this image.
I don't think there's a deeper meaning, but maybe we should make one up so we can tell people that.
Okay. Okay. You have announced a tour in this fall, I mean. And is there any kind of restrictions nowadays in the live shows in Canada, in the North America?
Yeah, there is. Honestly, I was a little bit worried that this tour, you know, might get canceled again because these restrictions are still quite heavy. But called the border and everything, and they've assured me that it's good to go. But last night in where we're from, Regina, we just had our first show back for like the scene. We didn't play, but
free share. fresh air, not in venues and halls, only in the fresh air.
No, it was indoors. It was in it was in a bar.
Okay.
A pretty small bar. But you have to be double vaccinated. You have to wear a mask. Those are the restrictions as far as our area, and I think most Canadian shows are going to be. As far as the US, I'm not entirely sure. I think it's kind of up to the promoters, but most of the promoters that I've discussed it with want to, issue a vaccine or negative test mandate and masks. So that eases my mind a little bit.
Okay. In Spain, yesterday I went to my first show in 1 year, more or less. And nowadays we have to sit down in chairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had that for a little bit, but now they've eased up a little bit.
Yeah. When we watch the live shows in USA, I feel very amazed because it's incredible. A lot of people in a mosh. It's incredible, no? But
it's insane.
It's insane.
They got fully packed venues, people stage diving, people moshing and everything. Like there's nothing. It's wild.
Yeah. Do you think that in Canada, in the next months, maybe it will be the same situation as USA or not?
I think so. Last night there were some people moshing. You could see some people were hesitant, but I think very soon a lot of people ease up on it.
Okay. Do you think that musicians had support for government of Canada? Because in Spain there is a current of opinion that government didn't support the musicians. In Canada is the same way, or do you feel that government support you?
I mean, during COVID, there were, I think, some grants that musicians could get, but for hardcore bands, for alternative bands of our size, like there's no way in hell we're going to get it, because you need like a documentation that like that is your main source of income, which obviously for bands of our caliber, that just isn't the case. But like real full-time touring musicians, there was support for them, but not for
alternative bands as you and Flashback. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think the people all realized that, and everyone, like fans, were very willing to help out however they could. Okay. Whether that be t-shirt sales or.
Okay, maybe Celine Dion have support for the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And the rest of the band have to sell t-shirts and crowdfunding, which is the way to survive for a local band or alternative band in Canada.
Yeah, I think merch sales would be number one.
Merch.
We did a merch sale. We just did it as a benefit sale, but people were really receptive to it. I don't know. We weren't too worried about it. It's not like it's our main source of income. We'd rather make our money from playing shows and whatnot.
Okay. Finally, I would like to know your opinion about the current bands of North America, because recently you have made a tour with bands as which is the name of the current bands that I read it that you are in tour with it. Knock It Loose, for example, no? In the last year.
Yeah, Stepping Stone just played a show with Knock It Loose. We played their album release show.
Okay, with
in Louisville.
Okay, what do you think that which is the health of current bands of North America?
I think it's great. Like American hardcore is obviously thriving as usual, and I think COVID honestly helped it in a sense, because I think there's people forming bands that never thought they could, or like never had the time to do it.
There is a free time for making a new bands, no?
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the next like few months to a year, I think we're going to see a lot of new bands, and I think a lot of them are going to be influenced by, you know, the big bands that were popular during COVID.
Which bands do you think that we have to pay attention in the future?
Honestly, if you look at the Prom Corps lineup, that festival that we're playing in Oklahoma, there's a lot of cool up and coming bands on it. And I'm super excited to see a lot of them. I think a lot of them will definitely be huge one day. I'm just looking it up here, just remind myself. End on End, band from Minneapolis, are really, really good. There's a band from Chattanooga called Gum that Stepping Stone has played with quite a bit. Really great guys.
Okay.
They're like a cool, like fun hardcore, like not too aggressive hardcore sound. Kind of similar to New Turnstile in the sense that like it's like really bouncy and fun.
Okay.
Then there's bands like Omerta, which are super cool. Mind's Eye, kind of like pushing the boundaries between hardcore and new metal, which is obviously right up my alley. So
okay, new metal is still alive, I think.
100%. Yes, sir.
But people, young people, do you think that hear new metal already or not?
Sorry, how do you mean?
People with 20 years old, 18 years old, are listening new metal in this moment.
I'm honestly wondering the same thing. I know a lot of our audience is like 23 and older.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play shows and see if young people are as receptive as, you know, us who grew up with new metal, because it feels like it'll be something like brand new to a lot of younger people. So I'm excited to see how they like it.
Okay, it's amazing. It's amazing because in Spain, young people only listen to reggaeton. Do you know reggaeton?
No, I don't.
Reggaeton is Latin music, as Shakira, Enrique Iglesias, and this kind of musicians. And only when you play the radio, only hear this music. Reggaeton is a monopoly for everyone, no?
Wow.
Yeah.
They'll discover new metal one day.
Perhaps. Okay. I want to know if you have some comments to give us for Spanish fans. Okay. What do you tell something? It's your moment.
Yeah. Man, just keep your eyes open. Flashback's going to be coming your way in May of next year. I'm very excited about it. Never been to Europe, but all my friends that have come through have amazing things to say about the fans and the shows and everything. So I'm very excited to come over there and see everyone. Okay.
If there is any chance to visit Spain the next year, maybe?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I live in Barcelona. If you visit us, I stay here.
Awesome.
For sure.
Great, I really hope we can.
Okay. Thanks, Nathan. Thanks for your time. And I hope that your new release it will be successful and you can make a lot of shows, Canada, North America, and in Europe too.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks.
Take care.
Take care. Y aguante Sin Bandera Radio.